Hello my Scrappy friends, it is Jess here from the Scrappy Sisters and thank you for joining me for a Kitaholic Kits design team layout. So I started this layout by completely flooding my page with water. Now I am only using a standard white cardstock 12 by 12. It is not a watercolor paper, and of course that would have been a much better choice of base papers, but I don't have any watercolor base papers in this size. I started by brushing on some water, but that wasn't cutting it. So then I even got out a spray bottle and totally spritzed all over the page. Now the one saving grace I have here is that I'm not actually really brushing this water on at all. So I'm not causing the paper to peel. I'm not going to put any holes in the paper. I'm just dabbing the watercolors in 4 different colors and letting them kind of bleed into each other, and that's the entirety of my sort of wet look on this page, and I'm going to then leave that to dry overnight. Now the paper will absolutely be warped when I come back in the morning. I have a few choices. I can let it be warped and just roll with it, which is the choice I take because I am in a hurry and I'm an impatient scrapbooker. I could get out the iron and iron it flat. I have absolutely done that a few times. You can run it through a laminator and also laminate it flat. You could stick it under a stack of books. All of those options would totally work fine. In my case, I'm just going to roll with it. I don't find that it is too warped now when I come back. It's okay. It is definitely a bit warped, but it is okay. Nothing that once the layout is completely finished and it goes into a full 12 by 12 album, nothing that's not going to fix. Now, obviously, when I was putting these watercolors onto my page, I had to be a little bit careful with flooding. You can see that the orange has definitely dominated over the paper, and you do want to be careful with that because nearly orange mixing with anything is going to turn a yucky brown color. But I think because I didn't sort of swoosh it around on the page too much, I was lucky that my colors did not blend together to make too many gross colors, and that you can still see those distinct stripes of pink, orange, green, and blue. I am absolutely going to completely cover quite a big chunk of this when I start popping on my coloured papers anyway and my photos anyway, so it is all just about the look. So I am working with a texture paste, or a modelling paste it actually said, that I just picked up from a cheap shop, and I am using the Storyteller stencil that we got in a kit a few months back. I have then cut some slightly smaller than 3-inch strips actually. They're like 2 and... what's the biggest one? I'm not American, so I don't know my inches, but it's almost the biggest one, closest to 3, 2 7/8 or something. And I am sticking these on top of their row of watercolor papers. I am sort of stressing up the edges a little bit. I didn't want to distress them with a distressing tool. I didn't want that much texture. I just want to have a little bit of lift and bend to them, so I'm just kind of bending up the edges and the sides just a little. I'm using a pink from my stash, but then the orange, the green, and the foily blue color is all from the kit. We did have a beautiful red paper in this kit that absolutely would have worked beautifully for this layout, but I am not brave enough to cut into it yet. I'm keeping that as a full 12 by 12 in case I want to use it in its full 12 by 12 size later. I absolutely adore the colors in this kit. It is up there with my favorite collection of colors and patterns and all of that, so I've really struggled cutting into too many of the beautiful papers. I certainly have a lot of this kit left that I can still keep playing with. I then have my 4 photos. I did trim these photos down quite a bit because the strips of paper are slightly smaller than 3 inches, and the photos are smaller, even with their matte size, are still smaller than 3 inches. So I've definitely cut my photos down quite a bit, but tried to keep it so I wasn't losing the integrity of what was happening in each of the photos. Then I have my little title, which is Mama Date, because Thomas and I are on a little mama date. And then I'm going to embellish with some tone-on-tone embellishments. I do go a little bit crazy. I am going to warn you now. I'm popping on quite a few embellishments, but it is fun and it was hard to hold myself back. There is probably one embellishment at the very end that I would now like to move, and it's too late. But I think only one out of the whole layout. That's pretty good. I'm taking those odds. So I'm starting off with the orange strip. Don't ask me why I chose to start with the orange strip. Surely it would make more sense to start with the pink or the green or the blue, but apparently I'm going right in the middle and starting with orange. I actually wish I hadn't stuck down the title yet, because I do find that there's a couple of embellishments that I would have liked to have put down underneath the title that I can't really stick there now because not only did I put the title on, I added extra glue. I really stuck it down because I was finding those chipboard stickers weren't quite sticking as strongly as I would like them. So as I said, I am doing some tone-on-tone embellishments. Those florals are a little bit on the green side, but I'm going to keep the florals as orange, and I'm going to keep the teal as green. Now, I'm fully aware that those colors aren't exactly a match, but if I don't do that, then I won't have enough embellishments for the layout. So that's what I'm doing, and that's how I'm doing it. So there. A spoiler alert, it is that teal oval that I just popped underneath that green that I would like to move. But anywho, it is what it is. Rolling with it the way it is. These washi stickers are really fun, but of course they're washi, so they're very see-through and they're very light to work with. So they're beautiful to layer on underneath things, but they're not amazing for being a real, strong embellishment. So that's okay. Sticking on a bunch of those chipboard stickers as well. I'm kind of using up a whole bunch of stash in these color choices, but I'm also not trying to kill my kit at any stage right now. I've still got a lot of papers left. I'm just popping on whatever I feel like putting on. So that is the orange and the green done, and I'm now just sorting out the other bits and pieces that I've pulled out to see where I can put them. I don't have a lot of blue, so I'm going to stick with the black leaves to go in the blue section because it is so dark, that foil. And I'm going to use those bluey florally frames to go in the blue section as well. And I organised that I wanted this frame to go down here underneath the title, and then this is when I realised I can't get that in there. Like it's all stuck down too much, so it has to go up the top if I'm going to use it, and then that puts those two frames next to each other. So now I wish I could move that teal frame to another spot, but it is what it is. We just keep rolling with it. It certainly doesn't completely ruin the layout. Sure, I'd make different design choices later on, but for now it is fine. Then I'm going to keep playing with all these little embellishments, all these floral pieces, and stick all of that stuff on. Again, playing with another piece of washi here down the side. It was really difficult to get that piece in. In fact, it's hanging over the side a little, but that's okay. Then just trying to pop some things up and keep some things down. I just love the look of that dimension. So in this particular photograph, it is me and Tom. We have gone on a little date at Betty's Burgers. We stopped and brought a little toy because Daddy has taken Jack to the footy, I believe, and Thomas wasn't allowed to go. I think maybe the game was quite late, like it was like a 4 p.m. game, so quite late in the afternoon, and it was going to keep getting later. Actually, I think Jack went with a friend. Now I'm trying to remember. I think Jack went to the footy with a friend. So Tom wasn't invited, which that's fair. And instead of me taking him to the footy as well, we have gone on a little mummy and son date, which was super cute. He amazed me because he wanted Betty's Burgers, but my kid doesn't really eat burgers, and he nearly ate the entire thing, so I was very proud of him. And I had a really delicious mushroom burger. It was amazing. I'd never been there before, so that was nice. And now I'm just working on the little pink cluster. I absolutely am not going to put all of those pink flowers on, but I did just pull them all out to look at my options, to look at my choices. I do that quite a lot. I look through my ephemera and pull out all the bits and pieces that could work, just to help narrow it down. If I pull out every single piece of ephemera that we have, it can be quite overwhelming. So I like to limit my choices. I knew I was doing tone on tone, so when I first started working on this layout, I just went through my stash and pulled out all the things that were the color choices that I needed, and I put everything else back. I didn't need to inundate myself with even more supply that was just going to add confusion to the layout. So I just decided there was only like 2 of those buttons left, so I'm going to stick them on anyway. Now I'm popping on some gold splatters. And then as I'm splattering, I actually find that there's 2 leaf pieces that I haven't stuck down. So I popped one in the blue section, and now I'm just putting this next one here. I really like that. I think that really adds to the button, and that finishes off this layout. I'm actually really pleased with how this ended up looking. I think it was really fun. I love the tone on tone look, and I think it looks really cute. And now I am going to finish up for the month, and I will see you all next month. Thanks so much for watching.